Hey everybody. So a couple weeks ago I smashed the back glass out of my Jeep 2013 JK Sport Unlimited. Today I'm going to try to fix this. I think it should be a fairly easy job. I'll tell you what I did to order the glass. I ended up getting it on eBay for $240 with shipping. I had, of course, contemplated just taking it to the dealer or taking it to a 4x4 shop and getting it fixed, but you know, the Mopar glass was upwards of $800. The gasket along the bottom was another $150 with labor. Pretty much guarantee this was going to cost me over $1,000. I like to do things on a budget, so found a place on eBay that was going to sell me the glass. The unboxing, I'll throw the unboxing video after this. It looks like a good piece of glass, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, and if you're curious how I broke this glass, I'll put that at the end of the video. It's kind of an interesting story, some lessons learned there. Won't happen again, hopefully, but I'll put that at the end in case you're interested. All right, I'm going to try to do an unboxing here of this glass. I just got it. I want to check to make sure that it's not broken. I'll tell you, I was a little skeptical when I bought it. I bought it on eBay from a place called Ace Pickup Parts. Looking at their website, it looked like they did a lot of salvage work and pulling stuff off of used cars, but on eBay, it looked like it was supposed to be new. And interestingly, it did not come from Ace Pickup Parts. It came from PPR Industries. So I think Ace Pickup Parts is just a storefront for this product, which is fine with me. I'll gladly pay them a finder's fee for this. So let's just make sure it's packed right. I'm actually happy about this because I'm happier with PPR, which I think is the manufacturer of the glass. I'm happier with them shipping it rather than have some shop in Arizona or wherever they were from. Okay, it looks really well packed. Oh, really well. It's got some expansion foam in it. So yeah, it's packed in there really well. I think I'm going to be pretty happy with this. Let's see if I can get rid of some of this. Make sure that the glass is good all around. That looks to be in really good shape. Yep, this looks really good. Interestingly, it looks like it comes with this bottom gasket. I'm going to run and look to see if this is the same as what came off my broken Jeep. Just checking to see if there's any scratches. It looks real clean. It looks like exactly what I need. So that's good. Let me go get the gasket that broke off of my Jeep and see if it's the same here. All right, I'm back. I grabbed this out of our garage. This is what snapped off of my Jeep. And it looks like it's the same. It's the same piece that came off, so that's good. I don't have to try to fish the glass out of this and reattach it to a new piece of glass. It's not quite the same construction. This feels like it's a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller than the factory one, but I think it's going to suffice. It's going to be good. It's going to save me some time because I don't have to fix this part up. So first I'll show you what I did for a temporary fix. And actually this wouldn't be too bad. This plexiglass or acrylic wouldn't be too bad if it actually provided access. Right now, you know, there's no way to pull this thing up. So everything's accessed down here. So what I thought was maybe going to be a medium-term solution that I could live with for a couple months quickly became annoying. Also, you can see it gets pretty dirty pretty fast without that windshield wiper, so it'll be good to have that back. And all that I did here was I got a 2x4 piece of acrylic at Home Depot, cut it off, rounded the edges a little bit, and put some black duct tape around it. And it actually works pretty well. All right, so let's start out by just removing this plexiglass or acrylic. Hopefully it's not going to leave a bunch of residue from this tape, but we'll see how it comes out. All right, looks like I did leave a little residue on there. It looks like it comes off pretty easy just by kind of rubbing it a little bit. So we'll get that cleaned up. Got one pesky section here. Lesson learned: when you're rubbing off tape residue, just keep rubbing it in the same direction, it comes right off. This section, for whatever reason, I was rubbing it back and forth, and I just ended up kind of turning it into a mush. For the most part, it's off though. All right, goof off seems to take off everything, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of goof off on a paper towel to clean that up. Yeah, that goof off worked like a charm. Okay, so I set myself up a workbench here with the box that the glass came in, actually, and a couple sawhorses. So the first thing I'm going to say is don't throw anything out when you break the glass. I initially was about ready to just throw this bottom part. This is the gasket on the glass, and the glass sits right in here. This is the bottom part of that glass. I saw some of the glasses you might find online won't have this part, so keep this handy. Same thing with these top hinges. The glass I got did not come with these hinges. I saw that the Mopar glass, it looked like it did come with it, so keep everything. Obviously, you're going to keep the windshield wiper motor. That's in good condition and pretty expensive. You can see glass is already falling out of it. To detach this is pretty straightforward, by the way. There's just a common Jeep connector here where you push down on the connector inside. This will be hanging from the ceiling of your Jeep after you break your glass. You just detach that, and then this is just the washer fluid hose. That's the one that you just pull off. All right, so the glass that I got came with this bottom part. Just in case it's faulty or whatever, I'm going to keep this, but I can set this off to the side for now because I don't think I'm going to need it. All right, so the first step I'm going to take is to get all of the residual glass off of these parts. First part requires one of these star bits, these 6-point star bits to loosen. I don't know what that's called, sorry, that's kind of a cringe moment. But the one that seems to fit says T25 on the side of it, in case you're interested. If you've got a Jeep, you probably got one of these multi-bit kits for about everything that you can find on a Jeep. So let's take the glass out of this one, loosen this bolt. That was actually harder to take off than I thought it was going to be. At one point I even kind of took a break and second thought the concept of this being just a simple screw off, but it did just require quite a bit of force to remove it. That's something to remember when I put it back on, that I'm going to have to torque it down pretty good. Obviously don't want to be breaking any glass, but yeah, so that's the story there. Got some glass here. Note I'm wearing gloves. I don't want to cut myself any more than I did when I actually broke the glass off of my Jeep. All right, that was such a smooth edit there that you probably didn't see the idiot move I just pulled, but watch at the end. Maybe I'll put some outtakes at the end. Yeah, I'll do that because I got a couple things I've already done that are pretty dumb. Okay, we got the one of the hinges done. Glass clean. Let's work on this other one. This is the one that's going to be the attachment for the rear windshield wiper. So kind of keep an eye on how all those gaskets line up and where the glass sits in there. Maybe for my own posterity, or in case you've already taken that off and forgotten where the glass fits in between all those gaskets, you can see it there. Got another nut here. These gloves are driving me crazy. I'm just sensitive to it after I busted that glass and got glass showered all over me. I'm just trying to remove the chances of me having to pick glass out of my skin for another 20 minutes. Just making sure I get all the glass out of every nook and cranny. Okay, that one looks good. I will reconstruct this kind of in the order that it came off, just so I don't forget how it all went together. All right, now we got a little bit more of a complex part here in the windshield wiper motor. Move this in a little closer so you can see what's going on. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get access to this bolt here, and to do that you need to take this plastic part off. There's two pieces of plastic that go into the washer arm, so you just pull this out and then up and that'll come off. So out and up. Now we got access to that. So we got to pull all this off because we need to sandwich the glass in between here, obviously. So let's work on that. And just make a note of how tight all this stuff is. You know, you're going to have to tighten it back up equivalently. Okay, this is where it might be nice to have a gear puller because this part needs to come straight off, and it's really cinched down in there into metal. I don't have a gear puller, but I have a couple chisels, and I've still got the plastic on them, the protectors, so that'll protect some of the rubber down here. And what I'm going to do is just slide this in on each side because it has to come straight off, and then wedge it up. Okay. That took a little bit of force, you probably couldn't tell in the video, but that loosened it up, and now I should be able to just pull it straight off. Nice. Okay, got that done. All right, this part should just slide right off. Done. Good thing I'm videoing this so I can remember how it all goes on, and then we need to get this guy off. Okay, and that was not too tight. Just, you know, make note of that from the factory it's coming off pretty easily. It's adhered to the glass pretty well. You know, it's been stuck there for nearly 10 years. Just kind of pull that off. All the glass kind of falls in there. Get that one out of the way. Sorry if you can't see that. That's a little rubber gasket. That's the part that's going to fit up against the glass. I'm just going to empty this glass out. I'm going to empty it here just in case any parts fall out that I need. To get this one off, clear the glass out of there, we're going to need to take this housing off. And that's just a simple prying, I guess. There we go. And you can see where those connections are. There's the hose connection and the electrical connection. Okay. And that is another one of those star bits I'm going to need. That's going to be a T30. The other one I think was a T25, so a little different there. Get yourself a good set of bits. So this one you actually have to screw it in to tighten it, so to speak, because what you're doing is you're removing this. It's like you're loosening it from this side, but from this side you feel like you're tightening it. Try not to damage this rubber gasket. I see it tries to come out, or it's pretty easy to twist it out. Okay, I think I'm actually going to end up holding this to protect that rubber underneath of it. There we go. All right, that's out. So we can get that through the glass now. All right, I'm just going to clean my workspace up a little bit. Brooms work better than hands to clear glass, I've found. All right, I think we got it all done. We got all the glass cleared out of the pieces we need. Got the two hinges, got the motor and wiper blade, and got the bottom gasket is already on the new piece of glass. So I'm going to clear this out of here, get the new piece of glass on, and start attaching pieces. Okay, I don't think that glass is going to get damaged by laying it on cardboard, but I have had glass here, and I'm not super sure that this is pristine. So I'm going to lay down some towels just to protect my new glass. And I guess by towels I mean old t-shirts. Okay, and I'm going to want to lay the glass outside facing down because all the attachment points are going to be on the inside of the glass. Okay, the first thing I'm kind of curious about is this bottom gasket is taped on right now, and I'm hoping that it's attached here, that it's not something I need to put some adhesives on, but I'm going to remove this tape first and just see what I got going. Whenever I touch the glass, I'm gonna try to put gloves on. I don't want to fingerprint this thing all up. I know I can clean them afterwards, but some of those spots might be hard to get to after I attach everything. Okay, so that is solidly connected, attached. That's good. I was afraid that, buying this cheap aftermarket glass that, maybe they just kind of slapped that thing on there, taped it, and left it up to me to put the adhesive on it, but that is on there really tight. All right, I'm going to start by attaching the hinge points. Remember that the one that has all of the extra screws and stuff on it is going to be on this side. Okay, you guys remember how all the gaskets fit in here? Yeah, I didn't either. I had to go back and look at that picture I shot earlier. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just clean off the glass, or clean off the plastic. This is this part that's going to go right up against the glass. So we're going to thread that through there. Set it up there nice. I'm not going to tighten anything too much right now. Kind of loosely install it. Okay, the first thing that went on was this plastic part that's got a raised inside edge. That's going to go inside the glass. Next part was this nut that is attached to this washer. That's going to go on. You're going to screw that on. I'm only hand tightening this right now because I'm going to install this and then tighten it up. I want to have the leeway to kind of move this back and forth to make sure I get these lined up on the Jeep. Okay, just to keep the parts together for now, I am going to go ahead and just install the other two parts on here. And if you recall, these two gaskets that, I don't know if it's one or two, but they're kind of stuck together. That goes on here. This gap here is where that nut's going to sit. These flat parts were horizontal, I guess, in case that matters. And then this nut with a built-in washer kind of goes on top. I'm not going to go too tight on that because I still have to have access to the nut below it to tighten it once I put it on the Jeep. All right, this one should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to take these out so I don't lose them. Put that on there. And again, I'm just going to hand tighten this one until I get it installed so that I have a little bit of leeway here. Hand tighten it enough that it doesn't fall apart. You don't want to be dropping the glass. Might even tighten it a little bit more. All right, that was the T20 bit, if I recall. Let's put a little bit of a tightness on that. Still so I can move it. All right, we're good. All right, that's really all I need to do to prep the glass. Now I need to get the Jeep ready for the install. I still have some glass left on the struts that hold the window up. So I'll clean the glass off of that. Also the attachment points to the defroster. Need to clean those up. So let's do that next. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this, but on each side of the back of the Jeep, what you're gonna be left with after you so unceremoniously shatter your glass is the two attachment points for the strut, one on each side, and then the attachment point for the defrost. So let's take out this attachment point here for the strut first. And I do have a bucket underneath this to collect the glass, but I got enough glass in the back of my Jeep from the actual event that probably doesn't matter if I contribute a little bit more to it. Hey guys, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here and show you the second one I did here because I got a couple lessons learned. Number one, on the first one, the first time I did it, I was using this part as a leverage point and unscrewing the nut, using this as leverage. This is plastic. You don't want to break that, so don't do that. So I changed on this one to use my slotted pliers, wide grip, to get a good grip on this this bolt part of it to provide the leverage. And then on the nut, I really recommend, this is a tough angle, use a fitted wrench instead of the adjustable. It ends up being a 10 millimeter. Okay, that nut was on there really tight. It was hard to pull off. There's not a lot of leverage on this small piece, so I'll have to see if I have enough confidence to tighten that thing down as much as it came from the factory. But that came off. Just need to apply a lot of force to it. All right, now we got to take off this this defrost attachment. So looking at it on the new piece of glass, it looks like it's just a snap. So I'm going to try to just get in there and pry it out. There you go. That was perfect. And, you know, this is one of those cases where I do have eye protection on. When I snapped that off, you know, I didn't know if glass was going to fly anywhere. So you guys make sure you're wearing eye protection. I've had a couple close calls, not only in this project, but other projects. So I really wear eye protection all the time. So you see how that works. It just snaps right on. That's a good reference for when I attach it later. Just push it on. All right. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll probably just fast forward through this because it's going to be the same thing. Okay, we got another bit of a sticking point here. The glass isn't big enough. That's what's left on this piece for me to unsnap it. So I think I'm just going to use those pliers, kind of dig in there and remove what's left of the glass, or maybe provide a little leverage on that glass and see if I can pop it off. So I got a pretty good grip on the glass. Nice. Just nice, easy pressure. Pulled that right off. All right, I think we're ready for the glass. All right, time to put the glass onto the Jeep. Might be helpful to have somebody with you on this one. I'm gonna try to do it as a one-man job. All right, a little balance beam on the head. I got my 4 bolts in my hand. So got 1, got 2. I need to kind of change hands here. There's 3. And there's 4 hand tightened in there. So I'm gonna, before I kind of let go of this, just make sure they're all hand tightened. I am gonna take off my gloves just so I have a little bit better grip on everything. All right, I got it hand tightened. Now's the moment of truth to see if this all fits together. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Time to finish the job. Okay guys, remember there is a little bit of play in these holes in the glass where you can move this back and forth, up and down. So what I'm gonna do, I've got them kind of hand tightened so it kind of stays in place. I'm gonna just feel along the sides and get it so that it closes with about equal distance, left and right. So just feel on the fingers, you know, how much the pinch is on each side. And then kind of do that same thing up top. And then also, I'm going to close this door and just make sure it seats in there well for the up-down aspect of it. And then go on the inside and tighten those up really tight so that there's no more play in it. Yes. I'm going to start with the easy stuff first. So I'm going to tighten up these bolts that attach the glass to the hinges. Okay, so let's start with the tightening of these. If you recall, these were super tight when I started, so I'm gonna tighten them up really tight again. So I really tightened both of those, about as tight as I feel comfortable doing, knowing that I'm tightening it down on glass, but you know, those were really tight when they came from the factory. The strut work is gonna have to be done from the outside because of course the struts are extended, so got to be able to open the glass and tighten them up that way. At the same time, I'm going to take advantage of that time to tighten up the hinges to the Jeep. I don't think I ever went back and did that. So, all right, we're just gonna tighten up those top hinge nuts, or hinge bolts. Okay, I got my parts for the rear driver's side strut. So I'm gonna try to do this as one person. This is really gonna be difficult because you kind of need some way to hold up this glass. I'm gonna end up doing it on my head. All right, this is why you're watching this video, because I put the struts completely on and I did it wrong. So I took them off again for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna show you how to do it right this time. So the first thing is, you're gonna need to use a 10mm socket wrench. Do not use the tiny one that I had before to loosen it. It's just not gonna work. On the top, when you're holding onto that bolt up top, you're gonna need to hold onto it with a big pair of adjustable pliers. So this is the largest one I have. It enables really good leverage on that top. Okay, the way I did it wrong the first time is I had this part down low instead of up high up here. So I'm gonna redo it.
In the video, it's really hard to see, so I put a still shot in here. This is on the driver's side, so the Jeep is on the left, and I guess the bottom of the glass is on the right. And the key here is that hinge point that the strut is connected to needs to go towards the top of the glass, in this picture, towards the left. Okay, and here is the passenger side with the Jeep on the right side, the bottom of the glass to the left. And again, note that the hinge point on the strut is on the top of the glass, so towards the right, towards the Jeep in this shot. I'm just going to fast forward through the installation. It was a bit of a circus act to get all of the parts together and to tighten them. And it wasn't helped by the fact that it was really difficult to tighten this side and the other side too. That's why I said you need to use the specific tools, the socket wrench and a large pair of pliers to hold onto that top bolt. Once you get that first strut installed, make sure you lower the glass to test to make sure you installed it correctly, and do it slowly just in case you messed something up. I'm going to fast forward again through the passenger side strut installation. The lighting's terrible and you can't really see anything anyway. Just reference that picture that I put in there 30 seconds ago that shows this strut connection. Again, it's a circus act and it's really tight and difficult to install.
So again, use the right tools, socket wrench and the adjustable pliers, and make sure that everything's configured in the correct way, because this will not work if it's not set up right. So slowly, always go slowly the first time, make sure those struts are set up right. Yes, perfect. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and attach these defroster cables. All right, remember what we did there? We just put it in that holder and then snap it in place. Done. It's good. Now we'll do it on the other side. And I know that's really dark for you guys, but you know, I'm just putting it in the holder there and then snapping it on the attachment, making sure it's seated really good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, we've got fully operational glass now. Really what we're just left with is the rear wiper. So let's get started on that. This wiper cover is going to go on last. This will probably be second to last, whatever. So I'm going to kind of put these off to the side so they don't distract me. Okay, here's the wiper unit itself. You guys remember how this all goes back together? So the glass is going to be sandwiched between this black piece and this black piece. And we're going to tighten that in. Remember, we're going to tighten that from the inside. There's that reverse type of a bolt in there. And then remember this one. This is going to go on the wiper arm shaft itself. It's got the two gaskets and then a hex nut, then the cap, then the wiper is going to go on, and then the bolt, I believe. So we'll see that when it happens. And then over here, I don't think I ever talked about this, but this had been pulled away from the wiper unit before. I think when I removed it from the ceiling or whatever, or from the ceiling. So this, just make sure you slide this back in this configuration here. You know, that hole or this impression is going to go towards you, because that's the part that's going to cover the nut that's already on the glass up there. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do here is attach it by these 2 points, here and here, and then we'll take care of the wiper afterwards. So I think the easiest thing to do first would just be to attach it in this in the attachment that's already there. So I'll thread this through here. Fairly tight, just hand tight though. All right, I'm gonna reach around and grab that other bolt here. I got long arms, so I think I'm gonna be able to just string it around the outside. Okay, if you recall from when we deconstructed this, this was a T30, and it's counterintuitive, but we're gonna twist it as if we're loosening it to tighten it, because we're pulling that nut or that bolt through here. So I'm gonna tighten it up pretty good. And then I'll go ahead and tighten up that other one as well. Remember, this one is the 10 millimeter. It's weird, just in this unit by itself, there's at least one metric nut, and there's also imperial in here. It's crazy. And these were tightened pretty good, so you do the same. I don't want these moving around. They got good rubber gaskets protecting them, so we'll keep them tight. Okay, that's good. Then let me give that other one a good tightening. It's going to look like a loosening. Try not to break the glass. Okay, that's good. All right, so now I think we can put this down and put together the outside of the wiper. I guess while I'm here and I have access, I might as well just go ahead and string up the water and the electric. Okay, got my stack of washers and nut, etc. This one has a little notch on it. It's going to go vertical, so I'll put that one on first. And this one looks like it's pretty universal. Throw that one on there. And then remember, we had this big nut that goes on there. And this was the one that was not tightened, like over tightened. It was definitely more than hand tightened, but I did not have to work hard to get this one off. So keep that in mind as we're tightening it again. I think the main purpose of that is just to make sure that water doesn't get in there. So we just want to make sure that seal is... Okay, so I will say do not over tighten this, because then it pushes this black part here in too far, and when you put this on, it leaves a gap here. So you want this piece and this piece to seat nicely together. So make sure that this is loose enough that this black part can seat with this. Okay, for this operation here, we want to make sure we line this up perfectly horizontally. And then we're just going to use this nut and tighten it in there. You don't want to push that in as far as you can. It should find some teeth, and then this will tighten it against those teeth. And I'm going to find the right wrench to tighten that with. All right, we're back to imperial. This is a 1/2 inch. Nice and snug. Okay, now we need to put that cover back on here and the cover back on the inside, and I think we might be done. All right, recall that the two tabs here, two plastic tabs, snap into the two metal holes on the wiper, so we're just going to put that here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so snap in these two and then just fold it over. That looks good. Okay, let's go on the inside. Okay, I don't have to go inside to put the cover on. I can just reattach it right here. Saves me crawling into a Jeep. So kind of line it up with the outline here. Should be able to just snap it in. There's some holes that it's going to line up into. Make sure you get all the attachment points. Just give it a good push all the way around. And I believe that's good. Just going to show you on the inside here what to do with that cabling. So there is a notch here in the plastic. So you want to use that. There's a notch for this cable over here. Tuck that in here, and then I think this one just kind of stays in this notch. Stays in this notch and kind of can move back and forth as needed. All right, I think we are good for some testing. I detached all the electric from the top before because, well, didn't need it. So I'm going to reattach that. Don't forget that, so you're not thinking you failed. So that's all reattached. I'm going to put everything down and do it slowly here, just in case. That looks good. Slowly close this. Okay, that looks good. Okay, looks being installed correctly. Got nice even seams around there. I think we're good for a test. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the Jeep and at least do a windshield wiper and windshield wiper fluid test. Alright, looks like the windshield wiper's working. Looks like it's making good contact with the windshield as well. I'm going to test. Yeah, that looks real good. Okay, I'm going to try the fluid out. So that ends the installation part of this video. For the next minute, I'm going to tell you how I broke the glass. Definitely a lesson learned for me. It might be for you too. Okay, here's what happened on how I broke my glass. So it was a failure in this winch system. So some of you guys might have this hand winch system in your garage where you can winch up your hardtop, connects to the ceiling into the frame that holds the hardtop. And all summer long, usually my hardtop sits up here. And that's been going on for, what, the 8 years that I've had my Jeep. So it's spent a lot of time up on the ceiling. The thing to know is that there are 4 critical failure points in this system. There's the point, the eye nut that goes into, the eye bolt that goes into the frame that holds it. Then you've got the attachment point to the ceiling. And then coming over here, there's the attachment point to the wall. But then there's the one point that failed for me. And that was this bolt that attaches, you know, these 2 parts here. And what happened was, as you will see, we've got a lot of appliances out here, and as people are pulling out appliances and messing with stuff, they kind of move this back and forth. And what happened, as best as I could tell, is it got into a situation when there's a lot of weight on this, that every time you moved it one way, it would loosen the bolt a little bit, and then it would come back down and it wouldn't retighten. And so every time you touched this over the course of 8 years, it would loosen the bolt and then not retighten. So it loosened the bolt over the course of 8 years. Eventually I got to the point where this thing was on its last thread. And I came out here to winch my Jeep down, and I swear I moved this handle about this far. I mean, there's a lot of weight on it, so it didn't move that easily. I just kind of moved it down or moved it around to get a good handle on it. And the thing fell off the ceiling. And, you know, as you guys know, the glass is up at that point, and I'm 6'6". That thing fell, the glass hit me in the head, shattered all over the garage. It took me about 2+ hours to clean up all the glass. There was even glass up here on top of the coolers. It was absolutely everywhere. Definitely lessons learned. So before I put the Jeep up, or the Jeep top up from here on out, I'm going to be testing some of these things that can get loose. Afterwards, I did see that this one had gotten a little bit loose over the course of 8 years too. So I'll be testing all this stuff. I'm sure it says in the instruction manual to do that. And I will definitely be a believer in that because just about did a lot of damage to myself and my Jeep. So I'll first show you what I did for a temporary fix, and actually this fix wouldn't be too bad for So first I'll show you what I did for a temporary.
Okay, pretty sure this is how it's got to be. Whoa, that would have sucked. I just shattered the glass with that thing.
Yeah, so that's the story there. Got some glass here. Note I'm wearing gloves. I don't want to cut myself any more than I did when I actually broke the glass off of my Jeep. God dang it. I'm such a freaking idiot. I go to dump this thing out and just dump the bolt right into the trash. And of course it's a full trash but not full enough to keep the bolt at the top. I swear if I have to run through this whole thing looking for a bolt, I'm going to be bitter. Gosh, I should just create a YouTube video. What an idiot I am. Freaking break the glass and then while I'm trying to fix it, I just lose a bolt. Come on. What? How far could it go down? Good grief. Are you serious? I'm going to have to freaking remove everything from the last 2 weeks of trash in my garage to find this stupid bolt. Oh my gosh. Okay. Got it. All right, that was such a smooth edit there that you probably didn't see the idiot move I just pulled, but watch at the end. Maybe I'll put some outtakes at the end. Yeah, I'll do that because I got a couple things I've already done that are pretty dumb.